Welcome back to another episode of Thanks for the Consult. As always, I'm Fior. We have with us today Aaron,
Yo.
and today's guest is Hunter. Hunter, how are you?
Well, how about yourself, sir?
Oh, doing great, doing great. A little bit about Hunter. He, a self-proclaimed ghetto medic, once did it full-time, now does it part-time, and he is a full-time bus and train driver, which we briefly talked about. Sounds pretty cool in and of itself. But I don't think I would have the attention span to not crash a train. So better
Yeah.
you doing it than me, that's for sure. But Hunter, the most important question we ask, we like to get it out of the way at the beginning. What's your favorite IV catheter, man?
Favorite IV catheter. Oh,
Yeah.
that's got to be the old school Gelcos.
Okay. I feel like that's right up your alleyway there, Aaron.
None of those push button doodads. Nah.
I don't know.
Well, how
I don't
about
know
this?
brand names like that.
You like the Gelcos, bud.
All
From
right.
what you tell me, those are the ones you like.
Cool.
Hunter, do you like self-occluding or non-self-occluding?
A non-self-occluding.
My man.
Non-self-occluding.
This is my guy
So,
right here.
For the
I'm
first
better than that.
time, for the first time ever, I am outnumbered on the self-occluding versus non-self-occluding
Please provide some support for me. Here.
debate.
I've been taking
tell me.
this side for a while now, and nobody will
Try
back me up.
try to change my mind. Why non-self-occluding, man?
Because I've had too many times where those screw up and you think they're self-occluding and then they turn out to just not work at all. So then you're still pouring blood all over the back of the truck. So, I mean, it's real easy.
Knowing
Take
that
your
it's
little
not,
ring finger, put it, right there, pinch it off, it pops up, you screw your flush on, you're good to go.
Plus, it feels kind of cool, doesn't it? Right? Like, you didn't become a paramedic to do, just whatever.
It just feels natural,
It's kind of like whenever you got a flush in your hand. Yeah, you got a flush in your hand, and you're busy holding something, so you bite it off, to open it up, and then you're doing it one-handed.
Oh, definitely not. No, that's all squared away. That's all squared away before I even start. I'm not putting that in my mouth.
So I think in a professional capacity, I have to bring this up. The first time I ever saw you, Hunter, in a professional capacity, that is.
This should be good.
We were at Forbes. You were bringing in an arrest, and you had your mullet, and you're riding the stretcher doing compressions, and your mullet's blowing in the breeze. Like it was something out of a movie, man. Like it was just like lights shined behind you. It was impressive. I
try to keep it American, man. You know what I mean? Straight America all the time.
I mean, if you were wearing pit vipers and like one-handed compressions chugging a Coors Light, I think would be the only thing more American in that situation, but for obvious reasons.
Far as in the hospital, chugging a, Monster or a C4 Bang or something, just, pumping on the chest. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I've never had the pleasure of working alongside you, but we kind of crossed paths, if you will, at an organization. So I certainly heard a lot of stories about you, and obviously we've
probably
met.
True.
Yeah.
Hunter, can I interject a compliment real quick? I'd like to interject a compliment. Not many people wear the square glasses, and I just think that they compliment you very well.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Thanks. They were super cheap. They're like $6 a frame. So
yeah,
Aaron, if you want, I could probably give you his number. You two could flirt later if you want.
Why are you bullying me, bro?
I'm here for a good time.
I'm just trying to be nice. I'm trying to help make our guests comfortable. Okay.
By hitting on them. Come on.
Listen, if I got better game than that. If I was going to hit on him, I'd do it.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, there'd have to be some money exchange too. You know what I mean? Like,
how much we talking?
Anyway. So Hunter, you spent a lot of time in the eastern suburbs of Pittsburgh.
I did.
As a medic, right?
I did.
What I guess let's kind of backtrack a little bit. What kind of got you into EMS as a profession? What kind of drew you in from the beginning?
This is going to sound ridiculous, but
I doubt it. We've heard some pretty crazy.
I was super young. I was like 16, maybe 17, and figured out I could make extra money at the BMX track over in South Park with an
Okay.
EMT cert. So I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. Go pass out some Band-Aids, watch some kids ride around on bikes, whatever. So I was like, all right. So I didn't think anything of it. And I started working at a glass factory, ended up getting laid off. So I was like, I kind of need a job. Had that fancy little cert, and ended up working for a transport company.
Okay.
A very regrettable one. If you're from the area, you probably know which one. And
I'm pretty
we
sure I
did
do.
do some emergencies and stuff, but I don't know. It was just it was like super, chill, just chilling in the back with old people, talking to them. So and we'd go on emergencies and stuff like that, and I was just good at it.
Yeah.
So um somehow got hooked.
Yeah.
Went from there, went to another lovely service, but predominantly emergency in the eastern suburbs of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And just got hooked, man. It was
What was it about
The
chilling with old people that you were like, this is what I wanted?
dude, they had the wildest stories.
They do. They'll tell you anything.
Like
Yeah.
some of them were like very like historic stories. Some of them were just like, yeah, I was tripping acid and at Woodstock and we were doing some things. I was like, cool, man, that sounds legit. Like I'm here for it.
Yeah, they did some living in there at the point where the statute of
Yeah.
limitations is up and a life sentence doesn't scare them
And
anymore.
they put in their time, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know, it's cool to hear their stories and stuff, but sometimes old people would just be wilding out.
Yeah.
I
And
think there's something
you're
about like being in an ambulance where they know that they're gonna be with you. It's probably the only time they're ever gonna see you in their life. Maybe they'll have you again on the ambulance, right? But like that's it.
right.
And then they're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm never gonna see this person again. I'm already telling them intimate details about my health. Why don't I just tell them everything about me? And then they
They
just like
do though
dump it
too.
all.
They go full blown, like no filter. They just get it all out in the open. I'm like, all right, I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I mean, I will say that that's a unique take, but I appreciate it actually. A lot of people, it's a family thing. It's the adrenaline rush. It's but that's the first time I've heard that one. I like it. It's a great reason,
Like
man.
I said, probably sounds mildly ridiculous, but like
Nah, not at all.
if I
That's
can adjust
quality.
this a little bit.
Yeah. So you started doing the transport stuff, which I think most folks start their career, if not like predominantly transports, at least doing quite a bit of them. And some folks they love transports. They stay in transports. That's their career. They love it. Other folks kind of get bit by the emergency bug and go that route, which it's kind of sounds like that's what happened with you. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, obviously transports have their, their need, but, yeah, I couldn't do that, full
yeah,
time.
yeah, the people that do it that love it, they like it's laid back. There's you got 20 minutes to get out the door instead of two. You know, um, and very rarely are they worried about killing somebody. Which
Fair,
you
fair.
know,
You just have to worry about the nursing home, previously killing the patient before
yeah,
your arrival.
yeah. I mean, that doesn't go away on the emergency side though either.
Yeah, no, that doesn't go away.
uh, but what made you want to take that jump from EMT to paramedic?
That's a great question. I don't know, like, it felt good. Like, I know, I did kinda like running lights and sirens and driving like a bat out of hell, to get to these calls and just seeing some wild things, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm pretty good at this. I like talking to people, I'm good in the public setting. So I was like, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Just try.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I probably, back in the day, I could have been a better student, you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know, am I ready to, go back to school and actually like have to like study and pay attention? But I was like, what's the worst that happens? You know what I mean? Like, I'm out a couple grand and don't do it, or I do it and have the potential to make more than a couple grand.
yeah.
So I think it was more like I did like the job, but money was definitely a factor. I was like, I
Sure.
can make a lot more money, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And well, how did you do when you went to back to medic class? Were you? I mean,
Initially, a little shell shocked back in
yeah,
school, trying to figure things out, but I came out, pretty
yeah,
unscathed.
yeah.
Did
Uh,
well.
it probably, a passion for it probably helped. I'd imagine.
It was
Oh,
nice, I actually really enjoyed all my pharmacology and stuff. I was like, what I mean, just trying to remember all that and actual the interactions and stuff like that. I found it like almost fascinating.
yeah,
So I was like, it's pretty dope. Then
yeah,
doing, our EKGs and stuff like that. I was like, all right, well, if I actually learn all this stuff, might be able to help somebody.
yeah,
So I was like, cool, keep it up, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
That is
then
something about
then you just
paramedic
get
class that I feel like is like you're really encouraged to actually learn all the material. Like I was someone who I didn't try very much in my like studies and stuff in high school with my undergrad. Like, but whenever you know that whatever knowledge you get from the program, you're going to have to then go and do on the streets to people who are actually dying. Like I feel like there is a little bit of extra push there to be like, maybe I should really learn this stuff, you know?
let's take this a little bit seriously.
Right.
yeah, there was definitely a part of that. I was like, and then you get out of medic school and like deal with your first couple patients. And as soon as I got out of medic school, the EMS gods were not kind to me. Very first day on the truck as a paramedic. I mean, I had people with gunshot wounds, folks, you know.
Hey, sometimes baptism by fire is the way to go, man. You get it,
Oh, I
you get
got
it
I
out of the
got
way.
baptized by,
Yeah,
the whole entire seventh ring of hell, but
yeah.
um
But then now nothing phases you.
yeah,
You're cool,
exactly.
calm, collected. I don't think there's a lot to be said for it. It sucks in the moment. You're crapping your pants. You.
Well, it's funny that you say that. I've
Uh,
actually got, like, yelled at by the doctors because, like, I'll call in a report, I'll be like, "Yeah, so this dude, like, he's got a couple holes in him and whatnot, but, like, he's alright," you know what I mean?
He's
We
just
get there,
chilling.
his, blood pressure's nothing over nothing, or, like, "We
Just
would have brought more
downplaying
people if
everybody.
you would like I was like, "I mean, he's not great, but, like, he's not dead.
Have
He's not, like,
worse.
the worst we've had, you know what I mean? He's alright."
You just downplay every patient that you bring into the
Yeah, I'm
hospital.
just like
So
I mean, I tell them,
yeah,
all factual information, tell them
yeah.
what I did and stuff, but they're just like, "You're so calm, like, we didn't think this was a big deal." I'm
You're
like,
like, yeah, I'm bringing in
"It's
breathing
not to
problems.
me.
You're like, I'm bringing in
It's
breathing
not my
problems.
emergency."
Yeah.
Like,
I remember we had one where I'm in the middle of decompressing a hemo pneumo, and the detective she opens up the back of the truck. She's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like talking to her as like the blood's pouring out of the decompression needle. She's like, "Do you need me to let you go?" I'm like, "I'm good." I'm like, "He's not doing great, but like I'm fine. What's up?"
Right.
But on the opposite end of that, though, I have learned if you use certain slang on a hospital report, they get the wrong idea. Like I had a fall patient, I said a gravity attack, and they thought I was just an idiot saying a heart attack. So like you show up and they're like, "What's going on? Was there elevation?" I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even look. Like their arm hurt because they fell on it. Like, what? It's like gravity attack. They're like, "We thought you said heart attack, you idiot."
Yeah,
Well,
it's not a good look when you're giving a call to the hospital and be like, "Yeah, patient done fell out," and you know what I mean, like, but they're cool now. They're
yeah.
good, you know what I mean?
I
It
mean,
looks bad. They
if
don't get
4 in
it.
the morning, you gotta have some fun with it.
the worst is on the
Oh,
radio. The radio,
oh
because you
yeah,
can't hear what they're saying, and then like they'll
Yeah.
start. There's always one like superhero charge nurse who has a lot of questions, and
Oh
like
my god.
half of them might be pertinent, and you just hear like mumbled radio garble, and you're trying to figure out what they're even asking you. I've actually taken the radio a couple of times, just been like, I'll. If you have more questions, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I always so where I'm at now, I do a lot of actual radio reports, and I'm always at the end of it, I'm like, "I'll give you the rest bedside."
Yeah.
Like, I don't ask if you have questions because Lord knows they might, and I can't hear what you're saying.
right. Especially when you have no cell phone service, radio
Oh, yeah.
static as it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it's part of the job, I guess, but, I think we all enjoy that probably one of the least that we enjoy the least. But yeah, so you've had I would say you've had quite a busy career.
I want to find out
That's
more about this train driving.
that's
Okay.
probably yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
get to like just chill out nowadays instead of like running around like a chicken with my head cut off all day. But um, so I've taken it down a few levels about as I've gotten older. But yeah, I just got so burnt out from doing EMS for 15
Hmm.
years that I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I need a change of pace. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So now
Well,
I chill.
yeah, I think that's one of the dangers of this job is you kind of get sucked in maybe a little too deep, and you burn yourself out, right? You worked full time through COVID, if I remember correctly,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
which is
so fun,
the the the
so
amount,
much fun.
yeah, the amount of people we lost it, system wide from COVID is just it's awful but remarkably high because of the burnout. The ones that weren't sick were working more hours to cover for the ones that were sick, and then they get sick, and then it's just this cycle. So when you're off, you're sick, so you're not actually like resting. You're just feeling like crap all the time, and as soon as you're you
Right.
know clear, you're back in it. Yeah, I think we lost a lot of great uh, providers uh, due to the burnout associated with COVID. Not even like the COVID itself, the just the burnout from the increased call volume and decreased staff, and yeah, I
Being in an N95 all day long, and you know what I mean?
That was
oh
the
yeah,
worst part.
It was.
yeah,
Especially wearing glasses.
Hmm.
yep,
Unreal. Like,
couldn't say anything. Yeah,
can't see anything. You're fogging up all the time. Like, taking your glasses off, you're wiping them, and you're like, this is
yeah,
ridiculous.
I
uh-huh,
remember going to
yeah,
college classes with an N95 on and a face shield because that's what you had to do to be allowed into the class. I'm like, how? There's no way that this is helping.
yeah. No,
Hurt my
I
ears.
think education as a whole took a major wound during COVID because people that aren't, they weren't prepared. They didn't know how to handle remote learning for the vast majority of educational institutions.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and B, like certain stuff, like they tried continuing paramedic programs, EMT programs, things like that are very
It's
hands
impossible.
on. How are you, these,
Impossible.
yeah, like the folks that came out like right after COVID I felt bad for them. They were not prepared. Their hands on
No.
was
And it wasn't even
garbage.
like, yeah, their skills suffered too, but like, their just patient interaction,
Mhm.
like, their entire demeanor was suffered. You know what I mean? They were just
Yeah.
so like gun shy about everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
you got to talk to these people.
Oh yeah.
Like, how are you going to figure out what's going on with them if you're not talking to them? Like,
Absolutely.
and I don't know if that's just like this new generational thing, like everybody has like social anxiety or something like that, but like,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong field for that.
Yeah. I think, as cell phones kind of developed, we no longer actually talk on the phone, right? It's all text, right? So people are less comfortable with an actual conversation. And then, you add into it, you're asking about sensitive information or potentially embarrassing or awkward topics when it comes to healthcare. And if somebody's, primary learning experience has been remote where they didn't have to actually interact with humans, I don't know how they're going to be prepared to
I just
sit
don't
down
think you
and have
can
that
be.
conversation. No, I don't think so. It's certainly not an ideal situation. And I'm glad that it's been resolved. Everybody's back
Right.
in the classroom and
And I would
hands on is
never
happening.
advise you like just faking it until you make it with a
Yeah.
patient, but like sometimes, you just have to. Like,
It's
even if
like,
you don't know exactly what to do, like as long as you have some sort of like a confidence to you,
mhm.
the patient will feel safer and what I mean, probably
Yeah.
have a better outcome.
I mean, and there's always going to be those patients that just like everything is going wrong, and you're like, I don't know, I need to call a doc because I need another opinion, and it's going to happen no matter if you've been doing this for a year
But heck
or a
yeah.
decade or what. And I've had patients, I call the doc and I'm like, "Doc, I got a weird one." And I tell them what's going on. They're like, "Yeah, no, that's very weird. Why don't we just like try to keep them alive till we get here, and then like we'll try to figure it out from there." Like they don't, yeah. Some of them like,
Right.
I don't know what to tell you to do because it sounds like you're doing the right things, but then they're turning into bad outcomes. So
And then there's certain situations where you're just like, never in a million years could I have imagined this situation. So like, yeah, we're phoning a friend. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's and that's the nature of the business though. Yeah, it takes a team. So luckily, you normally have that support um from your medical directors and command physicians.
Have you guys ever called somebody other than a medical director for advice during a call?
Yeah, so like you can call the command line and they'll give you a command physician. It may not be your medical director.
No, I mean like other than like a
I mean,
medical
I've
command
called
physician.
poison control
Yeah.
during like a Adderall overdose.
Yeah.
I called. I was like, hey, so what's the the bad dose? Like, what's the what's the limits here for like a 9-year-old? And he told me. I was like, oh, that's a big problem. Because he was like 4 times that amount.
Perfect.
Already was having serotonin syndrome and stuff. I was like, well, the next step, seizures. So like,
Which honestly,
cool.
that might be a little
That's not
refreshing.
great.
Like I know how to deal with a seizure.
Yeah, I could figure out a seizure, but serotonin's, it's like they're a 9-year-old little crackhead fucking running around hallucinating. I'm like, yeah, nah, nah. Do I, take them down? Do I, give them a little downer, But
Yeah.
The reason I ask
no,
is because there was quite a few times, like whenever I was a new paramedic, and like I didn't have a ton of experience as an EMT, so I was like a year and a half to 2 years in as an EMT whenever I became a paramedic. So like there were some calls that I just didn't have yet that were in my protocol that I was just like, is this when you use this protocol? And I was like, I feel like if I call a medical command doc right now, they're gonna be like, why are you asking me this? So like I had questions, but I didn't want to talk to a doctor and sound like an idiot.
right,
So I like,
right.
I'm gonna call my buddy real quick and be like, hey, am I dumb? Nobody else did that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Occasionally,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it even happens like to this day. If I get a weird call, weird patient, after it may be after the fact. I'm like, hey, this is what I had, this is what I did. What do you think? What would you have done? Kind of thing. I think that's honestly, I think that's what kind of separates, the good and the bad. Like if you're willing to do that extra work and be humble enough to ask, like, hey, did I mess this up? Or did I do the right thing? And if you did mess it up, how do I fix it moving forward? That's what separates, the good and the bad, in my opinion. You're willing to learn because you're human. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna make mistakes. So learning from it, moving on, that's makes you a better medic.
I've even called coworkers like with difficult extrications from houses. Like, oh hey man, I know you went there last week. Like,
Yeah.
how did you get this dude down the stairs? Because like he's 500, you know what I mean? Like he's a big boy. They're like, well, cool story. We just put him onto Reeves and we butt scooted down the stairs. That
See.
was not the answer I was hoping for, but thank you, sir. You know what I mean?
I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't care if I look like a wuss. I'm too old. My back's too weak. I'm calling for help.
Right.
I'm phoning a friend. Come on, everybody. You get to be miserable with me. We're getting this tons of fun down the steps together.
Oh yeah.
There is a
Oh yeah.
different type of camaraderie that comes from like getting an extremely large patient out of a house with a bunch of people.
Yeah. It's
Oh
got to be
yeah.
the same as like the gym bros. You know what I mean? Like lifting heavy weights together, like beating your personal records together.
It feels a bit
You
like
know?
Rudy, like the movie Rudy.
Go on.
Well, like whenever like the whole team rallies around him at the end, and like you did it, you did
Okay.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair
I
enough.
can see that.
Heck yeah.
It's either that or we celebrate before we even go, to the hospital, once we get the patient in the truck, we're sitting outside smoking a cigarette right quick. Like, oh, thank goodness, you know what I mean? Like, as we're worrying about ourselves having a medical event now because, like,
Oh yeah.
that was rough, you know what I mean?
You ever have those partners where it's like you get that cardiac arrest, it's up 3 flights of stairs, you get up there and your partner's like huffing and puffing. You're like, am I gonna have to work on 2 people? Or are you gonna get it together to help here?
Honestly, there was a rather rotund gentleman I worked with on multiple different occasions at a
Does this
particular
gentleman like
service that I
milkshake?
worked with, and he was a big boy. You should see him just to try getting the stair chair from the
Uh,
truck, like up 2 flights of stairs,
yeah.
and he was a rather
Yeah.
bowling ball of a man.
You're not talking about the Glizzy Commander, are you?
As a matter of fact,
Is this milkshake man?
that them Sheets hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
Aaron knows him. He
Milkshake
did some
man.
precepting there
Oh,
with them.
so you know. Oh, you know.
He was
Oh,
on his
yeah,
best
he
behavior
knows.
with me.
He-
Yeah.
well, because he didn't have a behavior. He was just, oh, I'm going to eat 5,000 calories in one sitting and watch everybody else do work.
Yeah. To be fair,
That was his whole entire attitude.
he wasn't opposed to a patient receiving adequate treatment. He was just opposed to doing the work.
Correct.
So like he's
Correct.
never going to stop you from treating that patient properly. He's just probably not going to help.
Yeah, he's not going to help at all. I mean, you had to really force him to even go get the stair chair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was special.
Like,
He
can
really
you
resented
walk?
you, Fior.
Yeah, he was not a fan of me.
Oh well,
Not
he
a
really despises me.
I every time I'd see him, I'm like, hey, you gonna give me a hug, man? He it just made him so uncomfortable. But
After aggressively rubbing his shoulders and doing all sorts of other things to get under his skin, he does not like me.
no, I can
But
tell you that somebody asked him for like a bit of his lunch, and that sent him to the stratosphere. But I was working with him the one day, and we were at the hospital, and he was eating his hospital food from the EMS room, and we were up for a call.
third or fourth time that day.
Yeah. We get a call, and another truck was clearing up a lift assist, and they get on the radio. They're like, "Oh, we'll let them stay at the hospital. We don't want them to starve to death. We'll handle that call."
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. He's like, "What's that all about?" As he's eating his second, Tupperware of food from the EMS fridge. I'm like, "Yeah, I have no idea, man."
I was cleaning out the fridge the one day at the station. Like there were signs like
Yeah.
I'm cleaning the fridge out this day. Well, I didn't know he had just put his $300 worth of sheets into the fridge. So like I removed everything, man, everything from the fridge,
Yeah.
and including his like $300 sheets order. And
Good
he's all
Lord.
like, "What I just put this in there?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't care." So he tried fighting me over, his sheets. I was like, dude, not today.
Nah, today's not the day, man. But yeah, so let's transition a little bit. Obviously you're getting some burnout from the full time working through COVID. That totally makes sense. So now you're driving trains and buses.
Oh yeah.
What was that like getting into that? Was it a nice transition? Was it rough?
It wasn't too bad. I was still driving things,
Yeah.
still dealing with, the general public.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. I mean,
Nice.
I was just burnt out from EMS full time. So I was like, well, go do this, they'll pay for my CDL. So grab that. And that's, the general public, they come from all walks of life, what I mean?
Yeah.
Each one of them has their own uniqueness to them.
Yeah, and you
And
do like different routes every day, so you get to see everything.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So it's all good, what I mean? Like people are actually the less, problematic of my day. Like,
Yeah.
I have less people with the general public
Yeah.
than I do, like, with just, like, things like breaking down and stuff and, like,
Sure.
traffic, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So it sounds like you still have that passion though for the EMS side too. You're doing some part-time stuff.
I do. I
Yeah.
get to, like, actually enjoy it now, you know what I mean? Instead of, like,
Yeah.
just hustling to, make a paycheck and stuff
Yeah.
or being forced there. I'm 6 out of,
Yeah.
6 days in a row.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
that's what did me into, man. That's what did me
for a
into.
whole year, 6 days in a row, just to have 2 days off
Yep.
and being forced every single day.
Yep.
Insanity.
Oh yeah. It's rough. It's so rough because you're making money, but you don't have time with your family, your friends, what have you.
Right.
And it does. It makes you at times forget that you actually like your job because you're just sick of being there.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
exactly.
but that's awesome that you get to kind of enjoy it again. Is it kind of like getting into it for the first time? You kind of get it's exciting because it's different, it's new.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's like it's different from my day to day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Get to go hang out.
heck yeah,
Do my thing, provide some good medicine to people,
yeah,
and don't have to
yeah,
worry about being there. 16, 24 hours in a row and stuff like that. Just get
yeah,
to go chill,
yeah.
see some patients, do some things, go home.
Absolutely. Well, what would you say is like to you the best part of EMS? Like this, if you could narrow it down, like this is the one thing that keeps me coming back. What is it?
That's a great question. Honestly, probably just like people's reactions when you show up, you do your thing, and
Yeah,
like you instill that confidence in them that like you're going to take care of them.
yeah,
Like it almost like you could see it like on their face. It's just like relief.
yeah.
So like I like that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I like seeing people's like just stress just like completely wash away.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely a unique answer, but I like it. It's very very good.
Because like I don't even care to drive lights and sirens anymore. It's like it's grossly unsafe. You know what I mean? Like it's going to save me 2 minutes. So
Yeah,
like that doesn't that doesn't phase me anymore.
yeah,
Like, yeah, seeing a couple people with, got popped a couple times, got a bunch of holes in them. Yeah, it's cool to like, oh, all right, cool,
yeah,
let's play operation and put things back and but like, yeah, just seeing like the relief like from people are like, all right, man, thank you. Like
yeah.
now I feel good because like you feel good, so like let's keep that up, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. Aaron, I don't think I've ever gotten your answer on this, man. What's your one thing?
I haven't been in it long enough to hate myself yet.
That doesn't make sense. Actually, that's the exact opposite.
You said what makes you keep coming back?
Yeah, like what's like if you like what's the one thing that draws you to it? Like what's like the one?
I mean, besides ER nurses.
Sure.
Not
Yeah.
around here.
No.
No, not around
Yeah,
here.
there's always one or two. There's always one or two. They might be in the back, but there's always one or two.
All
They're
right, I'll
hiding.
invite you down. You come find them for me.
Oh, I will. I can do that.
He'll sniff them out. He's
I'm
like
like
a
a bloodhound, man,
yeah. I was gonna say a truffle pig. He'll sniff them
from
out.
a mile
They
away.
can be
You know
buried.
what I
He'll
mean?
find them.
Mile
But
away.
yeah, I mean, for me, I'll say it's the puzzle, man. I like the puzzle. Figuring out what's going on, how to stop it, fix it, what have you. I like the puzzle.
It's cool being right without all the equipment. You know what I mean? Like
Like
whenever
with
you're
your
like, I think this person has this issue, and then you get to the hospital. There's no way you can know with the few things that we can like use to diagnose people. And then you
sure.
Or
get to the
just like
hospital and
having
you
like
find out you were right. Like
Yeah.
that's like
having that knowledge just from years and years of interactions, like, and you tell the doctor what you're thinking, and he's like, what? Like, I mean, that makes so much sense, but like, even the doctor's like, I don't know, man. Like, and then it does turn out to be that, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's right. Doctor level skills in a 6x6 box. That's right.
Yeah. We've said it on other episodes, but like as far as healthcare goes, we have one of the widest encompassing scopes of practice. Like anywhere else in healthcare, you have specialties. You specialize in airway, you specialize in the heart, the liver, like we're just like, you better be good at all of it. You know what I mean? Like adults, kids, it doesn't matter. Yeah, pediatric to geriatric and everything in between.
I think of EMS as like the entirety of an ER.
Mhm.
Everything from the janitorial staff
Mhm.
all the way up. My phone is doing some weird things. It's talking to me. That's not cool. So, from the janitorial staff, all the way to the top doc, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're doing everything. We're
Yeah.
cleaning. We're wiping things we didn't want to wipe.
Mhm.
We're providing good patient interaction from nurses. We're doing doctor level skills.
Yeah.
What things
And
have you had to wipe that you regret wiping them?
oh
Fluid,
man,
man,
an
fluids.
entire human body that was covered in dookie.
Yeah. The more viscousy, the worse.
Ugh. Yeah, so many times. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I was just so like more so like that I didn't have to clean the truck 3 or 4 times. Cause yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. Dude, I saw this thing on like a couple years ago online where they would put coffee in a nebulizer and run that to like get the stink out of the truck. I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work. Dude, it works. It
I have
works.
I did like I don't it was like Febreze spray or something I put in there or like a laundry something or other. I don't know. I remember what it was,
Yeah.
but we used to just keep that like somewhere in the truck in a milk crate or something.
Yeah. And then it like you'd nebulize it or you'd just spray it
Yeah.
down.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For sure. For
But
sure.
yeah, that was dude, that nebulized coffee and I probably Fabulosa. You get some Fabulosa up there.
Mm.
That smell good.
Mm. The coffee's probably safer for your lungs.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to like be in there inhaling it. I would like start it, shut the door and get out and then like come back when it was like done.
Oh, yeah. We just did that with the patient in the back because usually they smelled awful. So
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
yeah,
recommend that. For sure coffee would be better, I'd
yeah,
imagine.
yeah. That's probably safer. Probably
Yeah.
way safer than like the Febreze or whatever laundry detergent.
That was
Yeah.
the nice thing about COVID was when people smelled really bad, you just had like a free excuse to put a mask on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it worked the exact opposite. You put on your mask too late and you're just stuck with it and you're like,
Mhm.
ugh.
Gotta keep that.
Ooh.
Gotta keep the Vicks in your pocket.
You remember burping into your mask after
Ugh.
like a heavy garlicky lunch?
Yeah, you just
Oh,
ate Buffalo Wild Wings with the garlic
yeah.
parm wings, and you're just like,
Oh.
oh, and you're like, oh no.
Just trapped in there. Yeah, that was never pleasant. Although Aaron, you're too classy for that, I'd imagine.
Bourbon into my own face, but I think I would just. It's a pretty easy
Well,
maneuver.
your hands are covered in whatever what I mean, blood or
Oh,
caca. You're
I
just
don't even
like,
have that excuse. I was just like, oh, got to burp. And I burp. I'm like, that was dumb. I
and
knew
I'm
that
not
was gonna
touching
happen.
my mask with all that on. That's because I'm like, no, can't do it.
Yeah.
So you just burp in your mask, and you're like,
No, my
that's
excuse
disgusting.
is not, I'm just an idiot and would burp in my mask and not realize until I had done it. I'm like, oh,
Like 10
yeah,
seconds later, you're like, oh, that's terrible.
that was a mistake. That was awful.
Some days it'd be like that, though. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
After you're on the tail end of your sixth double in a row, you could barely see straight,
Right, right, right. You haven't showered in 2 days, and you're like, it's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that was
When
one thing,
when
man.
you
I
start to
had
smell
to,
like the patients, you know what I mean? That's
yeah,
probably when you should,
I had to
get things
shower
squared away.
after my shift. That kind of helped me. Kind of it gets the smell off, the stink off, and any of the germs you're not taking them home. But it kind of, I don't know, mentally helps me leave it at work. Something relaxing, a hot shower. You're
Right.
not
You
paying for
know,
the water.
I would try to do the same, take a nice hot shower after shift, at the station, and that was all fine and dandy until I guess, we were getting a little too rowdy, and
Allegedly.
allegedly,
In the showers.
allegedly, that
Uh,
never happened. Allegedly,
allegedly, uh,
allegedly,
there's a tale that has been told, passed down from
generations
generations to generations of young paramedics showering and imbibing,
consuming.
consuming beverages of the adult nature
Yes,
after their shift,
yes.
whilst on company property, we'll say.
Uh, That's the tale.
That's the
That's
tale.
that's what I've heard,
Yeah.
and
Nobody's ever been able to identify or prove it, but people have their theories as to who it might have been, what they might have been drinking, um, but nobody knows for sure.
correct.
It's an
And
urban legend.
it's like one of those, those legend stories that they're like,
Yeah,
that can't be. That it could be, but it can't
yeah.
be. And uh, allegedly, I don't know.
And
It
it's
could have happened. It could have not happened.
it,
I guess we'll never know.
yeah. I mean, it's like a fishing story. The fish gets bigger each time. So like every time I
Exactly.
heard the story, more and more people were involved. More and more. I'm like,
Right. Your
well,
your little bluegill gets turned
yeah,
into a 60-pound cat, and you're like, yeah,
yeah.
it was this big.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Couple more people, couple more drink. It's crazy. I mean,
yeah,
there's so many tales and like just crazy stories that like nobody would truly believe.
yeah, and who can prove it really? Like who knows what's real, what's not? You know?
Exactly. Right. I mean, there's only a few people that know, and like they were either there or they weren't there. So like,
Yeah,
only those people know
yeah.
if that happened.
Drinking
You
off the clock in the work showers is not even close to the worst thing I've heard of people doing in EMS.
yeah, no, for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely not the worst thing ever. But like, I mean, it could have happened though. You know what I mean?
And it could have really personally offended some people.
I
Apparently.
know somebody could have got like grossly offended because like
Yeah.
they stopped drinking or something, and like that's a bad look, I guess. You know what I mean? So they tell me.
Yeah. That's what I hear anyway.
That's
But
what I hear too. It's crazy. I mean, I just can't understand like, not just having a beer after work, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
whatever.
It happens.
It
It
happens,
happens.
to
So
some people, of
yeah.
course.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, it's like it's an urban legend. Nobody knows for sure
Exactly. It's
if
like the
it's true.
chupacabra,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Sasquatch. We've
Yeah.
heard stories, but we don't have any definite proof.
Have you seen those it's these people on Facebook, TikTok, all that, and they like they the premise is a video conference call or whatever for work. But like the guy is like gaslighting his boss. So like he'll drink a Coors Light and it's like, is that a Coors Light? And then he'll pick up a Diet Pepsi can. It's like, no, just drink or a Diet Coke, just drink a Diet Coke. And like, he'll be drinking a Heineken and like, is that a Heineken? And he's like, no, it's Sprite, just like gaslighting the shit out of his boss that he's not drinking at work. I don't know. That comes to mind on this.
I don't know if I have or have not seen that, but like, I know at certain points like we would have Frost Buddy, like the universal like coolers, the koozies, and like we would have our monsters and rock stars in there all day long in the truck because like, you want a cold bang, you know what I mean? Cold C4, some with like 400 milligrams of caffeine to get you going, you know what I mean? So like it wasn't anything crazy to see us with those in the station.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and those have a lot of uses.
It's universal.
It's universal. So like, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Speaking of which, man, what's your caffeine of choice? How you caffeinating these days?
Straight caffeine anhydrous now.
What?
Yeah, so I do
Pills.
caffeine powder. I put it in any drink I want.
He's
That
just getting
is
water
in-
out of this thing and dumping
Yeah.
caffeine in it.
Yeah, oh, it tastes terrible, so I try to use like some lemon water or something. But like it just comes like in this little tiny vial, and like there's 1,000 milligrams of caffeine per vial.
Okay.
So like, and one of those vials will last me like easily 2-3 days.
Still doesn't seem like enough days.
The FDA
You're
recommends
probably
400
not
milligrams.
wrong. You're probably not wrong. There's probably some AHA study out there that says like this amount of caffeine will definitely kill you.
FDA says 400 milligrams a day.
Oh, you're good. If it's
Yeah,
lasting you 3
yeah, I'm
days,
pretty
you're
good
good.
then.
You
Yeah,
could add 200 more.
yeah, like I mean, I tried make it last 3 days.
Well, let me
Sometimes
ask,
it's 2,
why the
but
heck did you switch to just like straight like
oh, it's just so
tincture
much
of
cheaper.
caffeine?
Oh, just so much cheaper
Yeah?
than buying like a $4 bang every day and drinking 3 of those a day.
Yes, man.
So,
That is
like,
not the same amount of caffeine at all.
No.
No, I slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, the
So
bangs. I think the bangs are 300. The C4s are like 350, something like that.
okay.
Yeah, so I
Huh.
slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
I do those monster rehab, the tea. Those are good. But I can't do the carbonation.
And I
If
mean,
you
I still drink like maybe like a half pot of coffee a day on top of that because, well, I like coffee.
coffee is delicious.
Yeah.
Cannot argue that logic, man.
So like, I like coffee. I drink that for the taste, and then maybe add a little, little sprinkle in there, and then and
Oh, you're
some
supercharging your coffee too.
yeah,
Oh, good Lord, man.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, I buy Death Wish coffee at like $20 a bag,
And
but I could just add a little sprinkle.
yeah.
This is why he couldn't afford the monsters anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
The coffee habit.
Yeah. My bank account would be empty.
Oh man.
Empty.
Good Lord.
Just a little sprinkle, you know what I mean?
I'm
Yeah.
on a week and a half of caffeine abstinence.
You say you're off of caffeine for a week and a half?
Yeah. The headaches lasted like 5 days. It was awful.
Oh, that would kill me.
Are
That
you
would that would kill me.
Are you going back, or are you just like, no, I'm done now?
I don't know. I just like felt like I should probably take a break for a little bit, because I was just crushing caffeine every day since like medic class, and just like to be on that one thing like that all the time for a long time, I feel like probably not the best. So I was like, I should probably take a break from it for a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Huh. Yeah. I don't know.
You're a better man than me, man.
I will say
Yeah.
You're
my
a
energy
better man
levels
than
have
me.
like they've definitely like become much more like steady throughout the day.
But
Well, you're probably getting like decent sleep now too. So
Correct. Yeah, I can actually fall asleep.
not being caffeinated all the time. I just like to go for a couple days and then like I slept for like a solid 8 hours last night. So like, yeah, it's all about balance.
next week.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, I guess. That's crazy. I thought that was just like a day or two thing. I didn't realize you were still doing it, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's like if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it.
Wow. Yeah, I guess. I mean, studies show that if you cut caffeine out of your life, you'll reduce your will to live by 80%. So
I do
Yeah.
want to die, so that makes sense.
But the same studies show that having at least a cup of coffee a day, 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day, is super beneficial for you.
yeah, I think
They don't say like 3 or 4 is like super great for you, but like 1 to 2 a day is like super good for you.
they also don't specify cup size. So
Correct.
just
I
saying.
mean, I like big cups.
They
I
fit
think
in your
that
hand
study was
better.
sponsored by Big Coffee.
It probably was.
Yeah, they probably meant like the 6-ounce servings of coffee, but
It's just a shot of espresso.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Nice. What couple questions left here for you, man. If you had any message to kind of give to somebody considering getting into EMS, what would that be? What would you say to the person considering this line of work?
It's not an easy job. It's not a job for everybody. But if you can get over the 16-hour, the 24-hour shifts, and you can still walk away at the end of the day, remembering that you were able to help people, just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, and it's not your emergency. So don't get all worked up. don't start speeding up. Once you start doing that, you screw up. So don't do that. Take a chill pill. Remember, not your emergency. And just some days are going to suck. It is what it is. Embrace that suck, and tomorrow's going to be a better day.
Yeah. And um on kind of in that vein there, yeah, there are some bad days, for sure. But I imagine you've probably made some lifelong friendships that will, you'll never forget, doing this job.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, EMS is like no other job in the entire world. I mean, you're gonna become incredibly close with some, maybe even all of your coworkers, and you will be able to remember those coworkers for honestly the rest of your life. Good or bad, your coworkers in this field are gonna make a huge impact on you. Some of them you're still gonna talk to, and some of them you can be like, eh, they weren't my cup of tea, you know what I mean? But you'll probably still be talking about those coworkers with your other coworkers for 25 plus years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, but all in all, um, would you recommend this job, this lifestyle to somebody that was saying, "Hey man, I'm thinking about it."
As long as, you're definitely not squeamish. Um, and providing you don't get overly car sick.
Yeah.
Um, this is definitely not a bad field. Again, it has its ups, its downs. You're gonna have, people you disagree with, whether it be your coworkers, whether it be management, but you still have the ability to kind of take it upon yourself to, take good care of people.
Yeah.
And as long as you still, can understand that, you grasp that this is not just a paycheck.
Yeah.
This cannot just be a paycheck for you. You will hate this job if this is just a paycheck for you.
I
But
agree.
if you want to make a difference, and you want to just see like how health care involves, and like you want to keep being on top of like the new practices and stuff like that, and you just want to just really see some cool things, particularly with all this new medications and stuff coming out, you're going to see some cool interactions with the human body.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you like science, you want to help some people, you know what I mean? It's a great field to get into.
Absolutely. Um, before we get going, is there anything you want to add, say anything you want to plug, advice you want to give? The floor is yours, man.
Uh, you know, don't go home angry, Whatever happens on the job, you know, don't take it home with you. You're gonna have old ladies beating the crap out of you. You're gonna have disgruntled, family members, and they're probably not angry at you. They're not upset with you. They're upset over the situation. I can't believe this happened to my family member, stuff like that. Don't take it home with you. You know, they probably didn't mean anything by it, and it's probably not personal.
Yeah.
Just do you. Don't, obviously you got to abide by your protocols and regulations and stuff like that, but be you. Don't try to, form to something else that you're not, you know what I mean? Because as long as you're personable and show that you're a real person, like your life in this field gets way easier, when dealing with patients and stuff like that. And just don't do anything to like start a zombie outbreak, because we definitely don't need that. So
We doubt. Yeah.
we definitely don't need that.
Yeah. Well, I can say that, I think the EMS world is worse off now that you're not full time. I think uh, great medic, have really affected some awesome change, helped a lot of people.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Yeah,
Like I said, still get to do it part time,
heck yeah,
so still get to make a little bit of a difference.
yeah,
Um,
Ah,
And maybe if the stars align, maybe I'll make a full-time medic appearance yet again.
oh
This guy's like
man.
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Just keeps
Heck
coming
yeah.
back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's
This
good,
feels like
man.
that, man, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, I took a break and came back. You have to learn how to balance your hours at work at home. You have to draw some hard boundary lines and stick to them.
Because I've been not full-time as a paramedic for like 2 years now. And
Yeah.
like it's still difficult adjusting to like normal people life.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm still like I'll still hear like certain like beeping noise and I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's
Ah.
still wild.
Oh
And I
yeah.
still might come back full time.
Hey, I hope to see it, man. I
A
hope to see
couple
it.
couple stars have to align, but
Hey, I'm sure they will, man. I'm sure they will. But dude, it's been awesome talking to you.
heck yeah, man. I've enjoyed you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for the consult, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Hunter.
You're very
Uh
welcome. Thank you
yeah.
guys.
Thank you guys for hanging in there with us, listening to us ramble on about this crazy ride that we're on. If you're interested in being on the show, please reach out at thanksfortheconsult@gmail.com. And thank you again.